Number 10 Netherlands. Number 9 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $907 billion. Population 17.3 million. GDP PC. VPP $52,295. Situated along the fringes of Western Europe, the Netherlands is a coastal lowland freckled with windmills characteristic of its development around the water. 3. Major European rivers, the Rhine, Meuse, and Scheldt, run through neighbors Germany and Belgium into the nation's busy ports. Number 9 Sweden. Number 8 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $531 billion. Population 10.3 million. GDP PC. VPP $51,687. The Kingdom of Sweden, flanked by Norway to the west and the Baltic Sea to the east, expands across much of the Scandinavian peninsula and is one of the largest countries in the European Union by land mass. Capital city Stockholm was claimed in the 16th century, and border disputes through the Middle Ages established the modern-day nation. Number 8 United Kingdom. Number 6 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $2.83 trillion. Population 66.8 million. GDP. PC, PPP $42,354. The United Kingdom is a highly developed nation that exerts considerable international economic, political, scientific, and cultural influence. Located off the northwest corner of Europe, the country includes the island of Great Britain, which contains England, Scotland and Wales, and the northern portion of the island of Ireland. The country's role on the global stage faces new questions as the nation withdrew from the European Union, as well as the policy supporting the Eurozone. Number 7 New Zealand. Number 11 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $209 billion. Population 4.98 million. GDP PC. VPP $41,999. British and Polynesian influences course through picturesque New Zealand, an island nation in the Pacific Ocean southeast of Australia. Early Maori settlers ceded sovereignty to British invaders with the Treaty of Waitangi in 1840, and European settlers flooded in. Today, 70% of Kiwis, a common term for the people of New Zealand after a native flightless bird, are of European descent. A sense of pride has surged among the Maori, the country's first settlers, who now account for about 14%, as homeland grievances become more openly addressed. Number 6 United States. Number 7 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $21.4 trillion. Population 328 million. GDP PC. VPP $65,280. The United States of America is a North American nation that is the world's most dominant economic and military power. Likewise, its cultural imprint spans the world, led in large part by its popular culture expressed in music, movies and television. In November 2020, the country elected Joe Biden as its 46th president, removing Donald Trump. After one term, the country is still grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic and Number 5 Australia. No change in rank from 2020. GDP $1.40 trillion. Population 25.4 million. GDP. PC, PPP $55,057. The Commonwealth of Australia occupies the Australian continent. The country also includes some islands, most notably Tasmania. Indigenous people occupied the land for at least 40,000 years before the first British settlements of the 18th century. Number 4 Switzerland. Number 1 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $731 billion. Population 8.58 million. GDP PC. VPP $85,300. Switzerland, officially called the Swiss Federation, is a small country in Central Europe made up of 16,000 square miles of glacier-carved Alps, lakes and valleys. It's one of the world's wealthiest countries and has been well known for centuries for its neutrality. Number 3 Germany. Number 4 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $3.86 trillion. Population 83.1 million. GDP PC. BPP $46,468. Germany, the most populous nation in the European Union, possesses one of the largest economies in the world and has seen its role in the international community grow steadily since reunification. The Central European country borders 9 nations, and its landscape varies from the northern plains that reach to the north and Baltic seas to the Bavarian Alps in the south. Number 2 Japan. Number 3 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $5.06 trillion. Population 126 million. GDP PC. BPP $40,113. Japan, one of the world's most literate and technically advanced nations, is an East Asian country made up of 4 main islands. While most of Japan is covered by mountains and heavily wooded areas, the country's roughly 126 million people lead a distinctly urban lifestyle, long culturally influenced by its neighbors. Today, the country blends its ancient traditions with aspects of Western life. Canada number 1 in best countries overall, number 2 out of 73 in 2020. GDP $1.74 trillion. Population minus 37.6 million. GDP PC, PPP $46,327. Canada takes up about 2/5 of the North American continent, making it the second largest country in the world after Russia. The country is sparsely populated, with most of its minus 35.5 million residents living within 125 miles of the US border. Canada's expansive wilderness to the north plays a large role in Canadian identity, as does the country's reputation of welcoming immigrants.